Hello everyone. It has been quite a week for us Criterion Collection fans. We got some brand new announcements, plus the Criterion flash sale has been and gone for those folks in America. Unfortunately, I couldn't get anything in the sale, being in the UK, but do let me know what kind of good things that you added to your collection during this flash sale. But anyway, this video is going to be about those brand new announcements, which are for January 2024. So this is kicking off a new year, and it seems like it's going to be a good year for Criterion. We have 6 titles coming in January. That's a big month. Most of these are 4K, and there seems to be pretty much something for everyone out of this selection. First of all, we are getting a 4K upgrade of the Apu Trilogy from director Satyajit Ray, and here I have the Blu-ray collection that was released some years ago. If you're not familiar with these 3 films, please do look into them. They are absolutely amazing. So touching, these human stories. The sense of realism in these films is so strong. They've gone on to inspire many filmmakers around the globe. I understand some people are only just getting into world cinema and exploring old films that are made in black and white, but please do give these a chance. Now, these were taken from 4K digital restorations of the films, so I assume this new release is just using those same sources. It's actually quite miraculous, the restoration of these films, because the original camera negatives were destroyed in a fire, and it's through digital restoration that we are able to have the films looking and sounding like they do in this release. It really is remarkable. All of the special features will carry over to the 4K set, and there is nothing new added in terms of special features as we've come to expect. Interestingly, I think because these Blu-rays look so good and the work done on the 4K restoration is so good, it will be interesting to see how much of an improvement the 4K discs are compared to this existing set. I'd say if you haven't experienced these films, then do wait for that 4K set. But for a lot of people who already own the Blu-rays, it may end up not being worth upgrading. However, I'll definitely be getting the 4K set because I love the films so much, and I'll let you know as soon as I've seen them whether it's worth the upgrade. Next up in January, we have a 4K upgrade of Blood Simple, which is already in the collection on this Blu-ray. The 4K upgrade is using the same 4K restoration used on this disc. I often find that the biggest improvements from Criterion in the 4K upgrade space is from those that are upgrading Blu-rays from much older transfers and restorations. So the likes of Dazed and Confused or Branded to Kill, those releases blew me away because they were miles better than the older versions. The film itself, Blood Simple, is the directorial debut from the Coen brothers, and they showed from day one that they were so capable at making entertaining, thrilling films. This is a neo-noir story, taking a lot of inspiration from hard-boiled fiction, which I know that the Coen brothers are big fans of. And to this day, it stands up as a great film and one of the greatest directorial debuts ever. So again, a great film, but it remains to be seen whether the 4K upgrade is going to be worth it or not, because the Blu-ray already looks pretty good. Now for something new to the collection, we are getting Lone Star from director John Sayles. This is coming in the middle of January. This is going to be a 4K disc and there is a Blu-ray as well. And this is one I'm very excited for because I haven't seen this film yet. I have been holding off for a good disc and finally it's here. So I can't talk much at all about this film and whether the film is good, but I can talk about John Sayles, who is already in the collection with this film, Mate One. John Sayles is a brilliant filmmaker from what I have seen. This film in particular, please do check this out. It's a great story about social mobilization, unions of coal miners versus the coal operators, and it's just a great film and beautiful to look at. But this video isn't about this film, it's about the new releases. So I'm so excited for Lone Star, and I imagine a lot of people will be picking this up. Next we have a box set. This is the Chantal Akerman Masterpieces box set, 1968 to 1978. There are a lot of films in this set, some of them coming to Blu-ray for the first time. It also features her most famous work, this one, Jeanne Dielman, which famously was voted as the greatest film of all time in the BFI's Sight and Sound poll last year, which was a controversial choice. As a film, it's not one that I'm a massive fan of, but it's definitely earned its place in film history, and I'm finding the recent discussions and conversations about this film very interesting. So I'm hoping that this box set is going to get this film and Akerman's other films into more people's hands. It's a 3-disc set. It looks like all of the features from this disc are being carried over into this box set. So this is a surprise for me, but it makes sense given the renewed interest in the filmmaker and her films. So I'm excited for this, even though I'm not the biggest fan of her work. It's something to celebrate. Next we have the film Mudbound from director Dee Rees. This is one of the Netflix produced movies, which is coming to physical media thanks to this relationship between Criterion and Netflix. Interestingly, this is a Blu-ray only. There's no 4K disc here. I do wonder why that is. Maybe it's, a financial decision looking at the demand for the film, or it could be to do with how the film was finished. I'm not too sure about that. I'll admit it's one I've not seen, even though I have an active Netflix subscription. It's just one I've not gotten round to. But given this announcement, I'm going to prioritise that. Again, Dee Rees is not a stranger to the collection because you have the film Pariah here. This was released in the UK as well. So I'm excited to see more of her films coming to the collection, and I'm hoping that this collaboration between Netflix and Criterion continues, because there's still quite a lot of those exclusive Netflix films that I would love to see get a disc one day. And then I think arguably the biggest announcement of the month is the film Trainspotting from Danny Boyle getting a 4K and Blu-ray release in the Criterion Collection. This is a great announcement because I think it's a great film, but also it's a popular film. And this will generate, I hope, a lot of money for Criterion so they can fund other projects, other interesting releases. It's interesting because I don't really have much of a sense of how this film is appreciated globally. It's a massive film here in England, Scotland. It's funny because on Criterion's website, it's listed as having English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, which of course is so important. But I know that even people that aren't hard of hearing are going to need the subtitles because of the dialect. That's what I've heard from some of my American friends who have seen this film. The 4K disc is using a 4K digital restoration. It has Dolby Vision, HDR, and it doesn't look like there are any new special features for this release, but Criterion have gathered some of the existing material onto this new disc. And in case you didn't know, Danny Boyle is not a stranger to the Criterion Collection. Here is his film Shallow Grave, which is a great thriller, Hitchcockian in many ways. I strongly recommend this one if you want to get in the mood for Trainspotting. So those are just my brief initial thoughts about these titles coming to the Criterion Collection. I'm sure I'll be talking about them in much more detail when I eventually see these new discs. For more Criterion Collection videos, just click the one on screen right now for some recommendations from me. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.